In a world filled with busy schedules and endless distractions, taking charge of your health has never been more crucial. Welcome to a journey of empowerment, education, and well-being with HealthCheck with Dr. Nooristani.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ahmad Nooristani. I'm excited to invite you to join us on a quest for better health and understanding. You see, your health is your most valuable asset. It's time that we all take the reins and become well-informed about our health and well-being.
We've all been there. Doctors' offices bustling with activity, and time is often short. But here's the truth. Staying informed about your health is not just important, it's essential. Doctors may not always have the luxury to dive into every detail during appointments, and that's where HealthCheck comes in. Our show is your go-to resource for in-depth insights on important health topics. Whether you're curious about the latest medical breakthroughs, seeking advice on managing chronic conditions, or simply looking to lead a healthier lifestyle, HealthCheck has got you covered. HealthCheck with Dr. Nooristani isn't just another show, it's an opportunity for you to take control of your health journey. Being informed means you can make decisions that align with your well-being and make the most out of your visits to the doctor's office. But HealthCheck is more than just a show, it's a movement driven by people like you who believe that knowledge is power and that by working together, we can create a healthier, happier community. Dr. Nooristani isn't just a doctor with over 16 years of experience. He's passionate, he's an advocate for change. He's not only started 2 nonprofit organizations to help the uninsured, but also actively engages in the community to ensure that everyone has access to vital healthcare information.
So are you ready to take charge of your health? Join us on HealthCheck with Dr. Nooristani as we explore a world of possibilities. Learn from experts and hear stories that will inspire us all.
Tune in to HealthCheck with Dr. Nooristani weekly to gain insights that can transform your health journey. Let's build a healthier, happier community together. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and tune in with your health.
Welcome to HealthCheck with Dr. Nooristani. 70% of Black athletes with mental illness are not seeking treatment, which highlights the stigma that exists in the community toward mental illness and mental health treatment. 35% of elite athletes suffer from multiple disorders, including depression and anxiety, but only 10% of those athletes seek any kind of help, including help from a mental health provider or a mental health professional. Top 5 sports with the most mental issues are: number 5, baseball; number 4, golf; number 3, tennis; number 2, gymnastics; and surprisingly, number 1 is swimming. In a world that often places professional athletes on a pedestal as symbols of strength, dedication, and invincibility, it is imperative that we recognize the challenges they face beyond the arena. The spotlight might shine brightly on their physical prowess, but behind those remarkable feats lies real people with emotion, vulnerabilities, and intricate mental landscape. Sports undoubtedly are a microcosm of life itself. The parallels between the trials and triumphs faced by athletes and those encountered by us in our daily lives are undeniable. However, the pressure cooker environment in which these athletes operate can often amplify these challenges to an extraordinary degree that demands to perform constantly at the highest level. The scrutiny of public eye and the relentless pursuit of perfection can weigh heavily on even the strongest mind. Consider for a moment the story of a young athlete who rises to fame through sheer dedication and immense talent. The cheers of the crowd, the admiration of the fan, and the thrill of victory becomes the defining moment of their life. Yet, behind the radiant smile may lie the struggles of coping with isolation, performance anxiety, and the fear of failure. In such scenario, it becomes clear that mental resilience is a vital and physical prowess. The pressures experienced by professional athletes are not only internal, but also external. Media coverage, social media comments, and public opinion can either elevate an athlete's spirit or erode their self-esteem. The need to maintain an image of invincibility can often discourage athletes from seeking help when they need it the most. This very stigma surrounding mental health issue is what we as a society need to dismantle. Today I'm very excited to introduce to you our special guest, Nick Hamilton. He's a dynamic media personality, best known for his work on and off the field. He's been covering professional athletes for over a decade, and I'm excited to talk to him about mental health when it comes to athletes. We'll be right back after these messages with our special guest, Nick Hamilton. You do not want to miss this.
Did you know chemotherapy side effects are greatly reduced when the acid in your body's diluted? Learn how Balance 7 can support your well-being during treatment. Visit balance7.com or call 1-800-793-9039.
Al Simon, I'm 91. I created Balance 7 when I was 70. I started having problems with my body, arthritis, diabetes, and other problems. I was told this was normal for my age. For the next 5 years, I researched and developed a product that would bring my body into balance. When I was 75, I started drinking Balance 7. My doctors were so impressed to see how well I was doing. Now the doctor is using Balance 7 on his patients. Balance 7 is a small price to pay to bring your body back to health. Go to balance7, the number 7.com and change your life for the better. For $10 off and free shipping, use the code word AL.
Welcome back. Nick, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you're a super busy man, so I really appreciate it, but I think this topic is so important. So we're going to dive right into it, and I'm going to start a few questions. So once again, thank you. You know, we know athletes are facing tremendous pressure in so many ways, but a lot of us as spectators, we're not just really feeling it, and we don't have a lot of sympathy toward that because we just don't grasp how these athletes perform or how much pressure they're on. So I want to ask you, how much emphasis do you feel that goes into mental health and care when it comes to professional athletes?
I think the emphasis is growing. I don't think it's absolutely there as of yet. I think it is growing, especially when you look at professional football in the NFL with CTE and what that unfortunately has brought to the table. And so I think there's a lot more studies, there's a lot more finances that go towards the study of not only CTE in sports, but also just what relates to mental and emotional health. When you look at guys that are taking mental health days and in leagues allowing guys to take mental health days, in women as well as women athletics as well. But I think it's growing. I don't think it's absolutely there yet. I think there needs to be a lot more studies. Obviously, there needs to be a lot more marketing on the emphasis of how important mental health is when it comes to athletes, men and women. And I think also too, people have to understand. I think there needs to be a lot more understanding from the public, because oftentimes we see that people say, "Oh man, he's making, $50, $100 million. Like, what does he have to be worried about, or what does she have to be worried about?" Because we look at it from an economic standpoint instead of an empathy standpoint. And I think that's where the disconnect comes in. And so I think ultimately, we have to understand that it's a tremendous amount of pressure on these athletes, not just to perform on the field or on the court or on the ice or what have you, but also in the day of social media, they're a brand, they're an entity. So now they have to keep up with all of the day-to-day operations that keeps their names going forward in order for them to thrive and to make an enormous amounts of money to take care of themselves and their families and whatnot. So I think ultimately we have to look at it as the public, as fans, as media, from a slightly different lens than will be done in times before.
You know what? I have to agree with you 100%. Being a big fan of football and basketball, right? on being a physician, I really, my perception of athletes were just exactly what you explained. I just didn't get it until I get to meet a couple professional athlete basketball players that I was part of their life. I was taking care of them, and from a medical standpoint. Then I really got to know these people and close up. I was part of their life for a short period of time, where I was providing guidance, health guidance. But I saw firsthand how complicated and complex their lives are, how difficult it is just to maintain day to day, how much pressure they're on, just not just for themselves, their families, their friends. And there's so much going on beyond that, couple hours of performance in the field. It was mind boggling. And it was just, my mind was blown up. I just couldn't know how to, I would just feel in a sort of ashamed to even think about athletes in that way after I got to know exactly what they go through. So, I completely agree with you. In the United States alone, 160 million people live in an area where they don't have any access to mental health. 160 million people. And we're not even talking about athletes. Forget about, the emphasis that are put in athletes. And I know there's such a lack of resources, but fortunately, and I'm just very excited to say, fortunately, the league has taken steps, and not there yet by any means, they're not even close, to make sure to provide the much needed care for those who need it. A lot of education is obviously needed, and I think the league is hopefully taking more steps, and we can talk about it right after this messages.
Did you know acid buildup in your body is responsible for the majority of diseases? Discover how Balance 7 can help you maintain a healthy pH level. Visit balance7.com or call 1-800-793-9039. 1-800-793-9039.
Are you looking to improve your health or restore your pH balance thanks to Balance 7? Balance 7 is a pH balancing supplement that promotes balance in the body's natural defenses. It's a mix of safe organic minerals that benefits the body with a burst of alkalinity. Now, this proprietary dietary supplement, when consumed according to the recommended guidelines, is crafted to help reduce buildup of acid in the body by neutralizing dangerous acids. Now, with this dangerous acid neutralized, the body is better equipped to self-heal, balance pH levels, reduce acid buildup, and maintain a strong, healthy immune system. And CEO Dr. Nooristani says Balance 7 is one of the key factors in jump-starting the journey to great health, serving its customers with natural and effective solutions to help them lead healthier lives. Now, for more information, just visit balance7.com or call 800-474-0558. Now, a special promotion is going on as well. You can get free shipping and a 4-ounce bottle of My Smooth Skin for new customers.
Welcome back, Nick. What do you think? How much pressure have you seen professionals and professional athletes deal with, and what all do they have to go through on a daily and weekly basis?
I mean, when you look at the overall, we won't even talk about just the regular players. I mean, if you're a star or a superstar of any caliber in any league, whether it be the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, the WNBA, Major League Soccer for that matter, or even college football, there's an enormous amount of pressure when you look at what they have to do to maintain their superstar status, being some of them are leaders of teams. They have to make sure they perform on the court or on the field. And then they have to go home. They have families to attend to, so they have to balance that. They have businesses, they have outside interests that they're a part of, investment plans and things of that nature. So they have to make sure they balance that and make sure that their teams are all on one accord and making sure that they're able to balance everything and everything continues to run as smooth as silk, as they say. Because other than that, they have to be focused on their job because one thing is connected to the next thing and connected to the next thing and so forth. So I think even when you preview, I had a chance to watch the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix, and it really was an eye-opening experience because you get a chance to really understand what Johnny Manziel went through, what he was going through, how he had to deal with it. And a lot of these stars, especially in the collegiate field, when they have this this emergence of fame and stardom, they don't know how to handle it. They don't, because it comes at you so fast. It comes at the speed of light, and then when it hits you, you don't know how to deal with it. You have to figure out how to deal with it on the fly. It's almost like on the job training. You have to figure out. There's nobody that can sit you down and say, "Hey, look, take a month off and let's know the train is moving. You can't stop the moving train." And the momentum continues to build each and every week, each and every month, and each and every year. Whether it be collegiate access or even on the pro side. So it's a great look and understanding of what these athletes have to go through. When you think about LeBron James, you think about Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, or guys like Mookie Betts, or Shohei Ohtani, or Asia Wilson, or Breanna Stewart, or even Messi, who's recently come over. All of these things that these athletes have to endure. The fan, signing autographs. Oh, this fan, I didn't take a picture with this fan, so now this fan is mad at me. So now here we are on social media dealing with all of this negativity. So they have to, try to digest the negativity and try to have their teams keep that away from them as much as possible. But you still have us in the media that will critique. Some have personal vendettas against certain athletes. So that negativity, and no matter how great this athlete is, they're still a human being. And I think sometimes we oftentimes lose sight of that because we're so ultra critical of what they did or didn't do, with so much on the line, and fans having more access to these athletes, especially. It doesn't give you a real sense of where is their privacy. What is their downtime like? What do they do to mentally disconnect, to be able to take a mental break? Often, and then if you look at the NFL, you have these guys that are scared to be hurt long periods of time because they're scared someone's going to take their job. Now, think about that kind of fear. You got to rehab an injury, and in the back of your mind, you have to worry about this next young player trying to take my spot that I've earned, but because I unfortunately got injured, I have to work and prove that I can not only be healthy but maintain that spot. So that mental anguish, that mental, as they say, the valley of decision, when it comes to how they orchestrate themselves to be able to get themselves healthy. And sometimes they rush the process because they're trying to be in a hurry to get back because they don't want to lose that spot. So it's a lot that goes into today's athlete. Between social media, between marketing, advertising, sponsors, everybody kind of crawling at them, gnawing at them and wanting a piece of them. They have to find the time and carve out a space for themselves. And oftentimes they don't necessarily do that. I mean, we've seen not only athletes, but entertainers take their life or, wind up dead in their 30s or 40s because they've been dealing with mental health issues the entire time. And they cried out, but nobody heard their cry, unfortunately. So because the lights were too bright, the voices were too high. And so I think we have to figure out a way to be more empathetic towards what the athletes, and remember, this because they're being given God-given abilities doesn't mean that they're not human beings and that they don't go through things. And oftentimes, including yours truly, have, not taken that into accountability all of the time. Because our jobs don't necessarily demand that in the media. So it remains to be seen what we can do to try to bridge that gap together. But, I love the fact that athletes are taking time out for themselves. They're able to carve out niches of opportunities for themselves to be able to say, look, I don't want to do this. I'm taking a day off. I don't want to be a part of this. Hey, no means no in the sense of I don't want to sign an autograph. I don't want to take a picture today. And that's well within their right. As long as they do it respectfully, that's well within their right. And I'm glad they're able to do that.
Thank you, Nick. We'll be right back after these messages. Hi, I'm Dr. Ahmad Nooristani, an internal medicine physician who's been taking care of thousands of patients in intensive care unit. A little over 2 years ago, I was introduced to a product called Balance 7. I was amazed how quickly it helped my patients. The results have been wonderful. I now recommend Balance 7 to all my patients. Order Balance 7 so you could experience great results for yourself. Go to balance7.com and improve your quality of life. So Nick, one of the biggest challenge we have when it comes to mental health, the acceptance and the ease that individual could approach that. Now, I know from many studies that there's a significant difference between men and women's mental health, especially when it comes to the sports. Masculinity plays a huge part of it, feeling like I don't want to portray myself as a weak person. That plays a big role of it, and into coming these male athletes to forefront or expressing themselves. Now, I assume, and that's an assumption from my end, that female athletes might have an easier time to express themselves or to report those problems. If you could shed some light to us and to our audience, that'd be great.
Sure. I don't want to speak for a female athlete. I think that would be a better question for an actual female athlete. But what I say, just based upon my observation, is that the fact that the female athlete is, when they're going through something, they tend to have a little bit more compassion, but also I've also seen where it depends on the color of your skin as well and how you're perceived as well. And that's been an issue when it comes to whether female or male athlete, but more so I've noticed more in the women athlete. That's contingent upon what you look like, unfortunately. And so when I look at the male athlete, no matter what you look like, there's a certain stigma. There's a certain thing that say, hey, you gotta tough it up. You gotta suck it up. You can't cry. You can't whine. If you're complaining, you look like, a four-legged animal, so to speak. That's what they call you. That's what they refer to you as. And so the vulnerability that men have to have in order for them to say, look, I have a problem. I'm not feeling right. There's something off here. And I don't feel like myself. Yes, I have money in the bank. Yes, I have access to, cars and trips and women and liquor and whatever. But it also comes down to the point of them being in a safe space and them feeling vulnerable enough to expose themselves in that particular way to let people know that, hey, I'm going through this. I'm not right. And I'm loving the fact of the courage that it takes for some of these men athletes, these male athletes, to come out and say, look, I don't feel right. I'm not here. I'm not where I feel I should be. And it's also what people fail to realize is that you encourage somebody else who could be going through something similar that doesn't have the platform that you have per se, that you're able to kind of resonate with them where they can go and get the help that they may need, because maybe they didn't have the courage to go do so because they felt like, I'm going to be ridiculed at my job. I'm going to be ridiculed amongst my friends. And there's an old saying, men cry in the dark. And that's the most dangerous fact, that men who cry in the dark ultimately die in the light. And so because they end up taking their life, or they end up just fading away, nobody hears from them, and they feel like no one cares. And so I'm happy to see certain athletes come out and really expose their issues on the forefront in order to help other people, not just themselves. So I think that's starting to turn a corner, but in various communities, there's a lack of understanding or acceptance of mental health and the importance of mental health, not just when it comes to athletes, but just people in general as well. So I think that needs to continue. I hope it continues. But to answer your question, I think there is a difference when it comes to men and women athletes. I just think it's a different spectrum when it comes to how people are receiving those issues. And I hope more athletes come out and disclose what they're going through and feel comfortable and feel like they have a safe space to do so.
Thank you, Nick, for being with us. I appreciate your time. Until next time, we'll see you later. Thank you.
I suffer from stomach problems due to a lot of medication. I also suffer from depression, and since taking Balance 7 for the past 4.5 years, I see major improvements in both these areas. Thanks, Al, for creating Balance 7.
As we bring this enlightening journey to a close, I'm reminded of the words of legendary basketball coach Phil Jackson. The key to success is often the ability to adapt. And in the realm of professional sports, adaptation goes beyond physical prowess. It encompasses the mental strength and resilience of our athletes. The insights shared during our discussion today have shed light on a profound truth. Professional athletes are not immune to complexity of mental health. They face an intricate web of challenges that can impact their performance, their well-being, and their very identity. But what truly defines them is their willingness to confront these challenges head-on, to rise above the stigma, and to embrace the power of seeking help. As we move forward, it's our collective responsibility to champion this cause. Let us be the pillars of support for our athletes, our friends, and for ourselves. Let us understand that vulnerability does not equate to weakness, but rather is a testament to our shared humanity. Just as a team comes together to achieve greatness on the field, so too can we come together to reshape the narrative around mental health. Imagine a future where every athlete feels empowered to speak out. NFL players like Bobby Wagner and Dak Prescott, NBA players like Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan, all have expressed about their mental challenges. Imagine a future where seeking help is an acceptable norm and where mental well-being is nurtured with the same care as physical health. This future is within our grasp, and it starts with a conversation we have today. So we could avoid tragedies like Sarah Schultz, Katie Meyer, Jaden Hell, Robert Martin, and many more athletes who have lost their life because of mental health and mental health issues. From outside, their life looks bright, but internally they all had to struggle with mental illnesses. In the realm of professional sport, it is a captivating arena where determination, skills, and passion intersect. Yet, it is essential that we look beyond the glamour and recognize the very real struggles that athletes faces on their journey. By openly discussing, understanding, and addressing mental health concerns, we not only pave the way for athletes to excel, but also set an example for society as a whole. Let us embark on exploration together for the benefit of those who inspire us on the field and beyond. Until next time, stay safe and be well.
Tune into Health Check with Dr. Nooristani weekly to gain insights that can transform your health journey. Let's build a healthier, happier community together. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and tune in with your health. See you on the next episode of Health Check with Dr. Nooristani. The opinions and statements made by guests on this show are their own. Noble Productions does not constitute an endorsement or validation of what is discussed.